We're in my brother's room right now and we're attempting to hang the lantern for Ramadan. Hey! This is probably my favorite part of Ramadan. There are so many things to love about this month. The getting together with family, the something like holiday spirit, and oh, the food. But what I love most of all is hanging the lantern. In Ramadan, Egypt becomes a sea of colors. Colors of light, bright and dazzling, shining through stained glass, and the glass a sacred shell for the Fanous. Poetry aside, the Fanous is a Ramadan lantern. It literally means light in Arabic, and it is a typical Ramadan decoration and part of the tradition of Ramadan. People shop for their Fanous weeks before Ramadan begins, and all over the country, little shops pop up to sell just that. Nadeen has her own shop tucked away in an alley in one of the oldest neighborhoods in Cairo. This is her. She works with her son and daughter and has been in the business for 18 years. Before Egypt banned imports of lanterns from China 2 years ago, Nadee's little shop and the entire Fanous industry were hit hard by the cheap ready-made lanterns. Nadeen shows me a new lantern local artisans put out this year to rival the Chinese one.
We made the usual Fanous made of iron sheets, but it sings and lights up. Before, we used to light it up with a candle.
For local makers who once took issue with the battery-powered Chinese lanterns, that's revolutionary. It's a fascinating example of how the Fanous is surviving global trade while sticking to tradition. To learn more about the tradition, I spoke with Mahmoud, head of research at the Museum of Islamic Art in Cairo, who told me that although the Fanous is a Greek invention, Egyptians have adopted it for themselves. The earliest known record of Egyptian use of the lanterns was around 968 AD when
the first caliph came Egypt. When he entered Egypt, the Egyptians received him.
And in their hands, the lanterns. At the time, the Fatimids were looking to make Cairo their new dynastic capital and took up residence here. Mahmoud tells me that it was Al-Hakam Ba'amrillah, the sixth Fatimid ruler, who sealed the tradition when he ordered a silver lantern and 27 glass lamps to be made and lit in the Azhar Mosque to mark the arrival of Ramadan. In the Museum of Islamic Art, there are 3 exhibits of some of the oldest lanterns in the world. The 3 in the Cairo Museum were
transported from El Fayoum, from Mosque of Aslabai. Aslabai was wife of Sultan Qaitbay.
That means that these lanterns stretch back to the 9th century in Islam, or the 15th century after Christ. One was in the shape of a dome and was covered with Islamic geometric shapes. These designs survive today and adorn today's lanterns. Even though the tradition has survived, this year the Egyptian economy has been hit hard. Nadeen says she is barely getting any customers. Even if not all Egyptians can afford it this year, the Fanous will remain the greatest, brightest symbol of Ramadan. For the Ehky Ya Masr podcast, this is Nadeen Shaker.